So you're the kind of person that wants to vote responsibly. But what if fair voting is nothing but a fantasy? Let's talk about Arrow's impossibility theorem. The theorem earned Arrow the 1972 Nobel Prize in Economics and is universally accepted as a mathematical proof in social choice theory. If you stay until the end of this video, I will also explain the theorem with ice cream flavors to make everything a lot clearer. The theorem states that no voting method can aggregate individual preferences into a collective ranking that is fully fair when there are three or more options. He states four axioms of fairness and says that no voting system could ever satisfy all four, and points to the fact that voting will always be unfair no matter what. The four fairness criteria are unrestricted domain, meaning voters can have any rational preference ordering, there's no restriction on rankings. The second is Pareto efficiency, meaning if everyone prefers option A over option B, society must rank A over B. The third is non dictatorship, meaning no single voter dictates the group's ranking for all pairs of options. And the fourth is independence of irrelevant alternatives, or IIA, which means that the relative ranking of A and B depends only on voters' preferences on A versus B and should not be affected by any other option C. Now, out of all four axioms, I want to focus on the IIA, so the last one, because the other three are basically sanity checks. Don't allow dictatorship, respect anonymity, let people have whatever preference they actually have. This all makes absolute sense, right? But IIA is where I start calling bullshit because it smuggles in a very specific definition of fairness that ignores how humans actually choose. So let me explain in ice cream terms. Let's assume we have 100 people that want to order a gigantic pot of ice cream and that pot can only have one taste. In the beginning, the choices are chocolate and vanilla, and people vote, and the results are 66 people vote for chocolate and 34 people vote for vanilla. Now, let's say a third option comes in, and that is chocolate chip. So now people vote again, and the results are 33 people choose chocolate, 33 people choose chocolate chip, and 34 people choose vanilla. So now vanilla wins, and this is what Arrow means, but this is unfair and shouldn't be like that. Okay, in this case, I obviously agree, but let's think of another case. Let's now say that the third option that comes in is no longer chocolate chip, but it's swirl, so a chocolate and vanilla mix. Now people vote again, and the results are 25 for vanilla, 20 for chocolate, and 55 for swirl. So the swirl switched the initial ranking of chocolate and vanilla, but in this case, I believe it's totally fair. IIA basically treats the third option as irrelevant noise that shouldn't affect the social judgment between A and B, but in this case, swirl is not irrelevant. Without swirl, the vote is forced into an extreme binary, so either chocolate or plain vanilla. But with swirl, you finally see what people actually want when they're not trapped in that extreme binary. So if your definition of fairness says, hey, the relationship between chocolate and vanilla must be totally stable no matter what else is on the menu, that doesn't necessarily sit right with the idea of fairness to me. That sounds a lot more like a mathematical, unrealistic fantasy that ignores how real life humans and preferences actually work. But anyway, these are my thoughts on it, and I would love to know what you guys think.